something that's normally not normal for Mr. Tackpans. If I came out here and said to you, ladies and gentlemen, I sort of feel a little lost, and I know half, maybe three-quarters, and ones who have not watched me yet might be saying, hello, Mr. Tackpans, wake up, you were never found. Thank God I don't have a lot of hits, I'm still learning. I just did a video about Hitler and the swastika. And inside the swastika, okay, S-W-A-S, tick, tock, tika, a teacup, tika, because everything in the geometrical world, and I call it that way because it's like a fantasy world where things seem to mold together, to fold, to bend over, backwards for each other, until it all works out. Because that's what it is. It's a system, and it always works. It is only us that fail it. But the system never fails itself. Even if it shuts down and wipes everything out where we are, makes no difference. First of all, there's nothing here but a projector screen. We grow like ants. We get spirit inside of us, a thought worthy of life, in which when they close down the switch, we just continue from where we left off before we got here. Thinking that we may not remember and we will forget everything that's went on is not true. It's in your star system, but we're only allowed 110%, 255. Why 255? 255 and 33 of command of creation equals to 88. That's your 110%. 88, 22, 22, 22, 22. Add your 22, you become 110. 110 stories on the Twin Towers and the multiplication of V. Now to go to Hitler, HIT, pretty easy. We've got a hit. That's what it says. And the letters together are 8, 9, and 20. Why? Because in the angelic family, A, H, and R all have the A symbol before it in their presentation. A alone needs no consonant because it does nothing when there's nothing to give. It becomes H when it divides itself into two different particles of a world, in which the particles, if you want to look at, we can see them as this. The H is right here. Here's the other H, and here's the other H. We turn it sideways, we become the I, and the I, and the I, and the one arm out, and the one arm out. We have to split levels. It's a split level, so you have to understand it as a split level. See 511? 5 times 11 is 55. Plus 7 equals 62 of 622, 6. Part of the Hitler. Part of everything that hit anything, that touched anything, that became something, will always tell a story, whether it's the story you think you want to hear, whether it's the exact story and you're happy with what you heard, or whether you think the story is all Nirishkite and bull, is the way the story will become, and it is what it is in your own head, it's your own life, and this is one world we all live in. That's the thing we have in common. We all have to live here, and somehow things have got to be equal in accordance to our freedom, so you don't take my freedom, I won't take your freedom, and may the best man have as much money as he wants if he forgets about love. So therefore, we're back on as much money as you want. You ever think of Dick? D-I-C, Dick? The 1 cent in the dollar? Look at it, it's a P. You flip it upside down, it's another P. But inside of here, it becomes a square, which is a 0, like in here. See the O? It says DOC for doc, or P. OP for pop, or pock. But pock to me doesn't say anything unless a chicken is eating some crumbs. Now let's go back to Hitler, which the count of Hitler is 72, which again says win big McDonald's. That's what it says. I can't help it. It's 1,000. Doesn't everybody know about 0? Did I talk about 0 in a previous video? 0 is the center position, the circle of life. It is the stretch arm between 1 and 5 that the train runs. the train runs from the corner to the train station, or from the train station around the corner to the next train station, to the next train station, to the next, and all it keeps doing is turning around and around, and it's oh. But, okay, if we talk in reality so we can understand the numbers, we go from go to train, and from train to go. From the 10 position or 1 position to train and coming home, it's 101, 10. It left only 5, it brought 5 home. It was a total of 10. Whether we took it away, whether we ended up somewhere for part of the day and came home, it's still 10. 101. When we go on to the dollar sign, we get HHH, 88824. 999. Why? Because this way it's a 99, 27, 24, 15, 51. 15, 51, 51, 15. 1 and 6 is 7. 2 and 5 is 7. 2 and 5 is 7. 1 and 6 is 7. We have 6, 22, 6, and the question of why it is the part of life that it is. 6, 22, 6 is the question. 1776. 6 and 7 is 1. 6 and 1 is 7. 1776. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 5. Did I say that? 1 and 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. We end up with 7557. Now, if we do 7557 one more time, and you can do it 3 times, because in the 4th time, you've made a square. And it's square to life, and it's triangle for spirit. It's a different kind of a rotation. You lose when you're alive on this earth to the triangle in which you live as the face of Rubik's Cube and the square. So 1776, bringing it back to 7557, 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. Then we have, let me look at the page again so I don't get mixed up. As I mixed up, I could be. It becomes 775. Now if we take this and go 7 over 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. Here's your 14. If we take 5 and 5 is 10. It becomes 1. This becomes 5, 1, 1, 5. And like you saw on the page over here, it was 5775, 1551, 622, 6, equaling to 1776. If you didn't understand, turn it back. I just can't keep going forward and backward. Where did I get to the 7 world? Well, you have to live 7, 10, and 13. They're each in their own numbers, and you each have to figure out how to get there. If you want to know how to get to 13 from number 2, you would have to add 11. 11 plus 2 is 13. But 13 equals to 1 plus 3 is 4. Therefore, the original 1, 2 you had, all you add is 2 more, and you have your 4. So, but you'd be the 4. So that 4 would be in the 13 world. All you're missing is the 9 birth. 49 is eternal green. Okay, now I know I probably mixed you up, and there's so much more in here. So we did Hitler. The number of Hitler is 72, which is 7 times 2 plus 7 plus 2. It equals to red and brown. It equals to the rogue planet, Ison, Nibiru, because Nibiru is number 73. Hitler is 72. But if 73 is the center and number 1, 7 and 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10, 1 and 0 is 1. 7 and 3 Nibiru, they're right standing next to each other. Now still, it's very complicated to understand that. So I'm going to show you something. I didn't want to show you anything different. I'm going to show you something else with Hitler. And we're going to go to the swastika. And I'm going to have to draw out swastika and then give you the number count. SWASTICA, 19 plus 23 plus 1 plus 19 plus 20 plus 9 plus 3 plus 1. Did you notice it ends in CA? ICA? Stika, like a sticker? Like it's already stuck on us? Like it's already part of us? Like it's already been molded in our minds? 1942, 1942 to start off. When was the war? Because that's what it says, 1942 to begin. So that means it can be as much and as close as to 1941. I have to know when that began, because anyways, whatever it is, 42, 43, 53, 62, 72, 82, and 9 is 91, 92, 93, 94. It equals to 95, which is time. Okay? 95 equals time. And it's the replication of 1 and 5, because when you get to the train tracks, you go 1 to 5, and then after 5, you would go 5 to 9, and you turn around and you come back to the tracks if you want. Otherwise, you're sitting in the next corner. So swastika under that count is 95, and under the short count is 15, 16, 17, 26, 27, 28, 37, 38, 39, 40. The total count of swastika is 41, and that brings us into the middle of the Mediterranean and in Israel. You also have to add 6 to it, from 41 to 47, which is a part of time. And we add 6 because the letter T is involved. And when the letter T is involved, or the letter J is involved, okay, automatically the 0 gets a value of 6. So we add 6, 41 and 6 is 47. T-I-M-E, 47, Jesus, cross, and a whole bunch of other things. Now we're going to bring you on. We finished off at 95 plus 47 equals to 142. And that is the house of the cat, and has to do with the vibrations, the transmission, something they might have cut out of this world during the war, and they made us work for it. The other part of 47 is that if the golden years of 50, or 50 stars on a flag times 47 equal 2350, then let's call the golden calf the time of distortion, when Moses came down, the year 2350 in the time of Moses. Then we had the golden eggs that came out, and there are 30 eggs in a tray, times 47 equals to 1410, plus 2350 equals 3760, and the time Jesus is born in the Hebrew calendar, 3760. Hot and cold water, 43 and 34, JFK, which is Jack, King, Queen, JFK, the face of man. Okay, and the reason it's that is because he's the 34th president, Barack Obama is the 43rd. Hot and cold water equal to the 77 of the 77 we spoke earlier, of the 7 plus 7 equals 14, and 7 plus 7 equals 14, which is DNA. Okay, I will bring into you, just not to forget that this is hot and cold water, JFK, and Barack Obama 77, just like 3113 would be Herbert Hoover and Barack Obama making 88. 88 and 77 are the 277th day, October 4th, and the 288th day, October 15th, but it's actually the 14th in a leap year. So what we're going to go, and we're going to go back to what I said. Baby, come on, remember. We had Hitler, we had Barack Obama 34 and 47. So we have between the two right now, because it's the 43rd president, after Jesus, we go 43 terms of 47 equals to 2021. Time is off, and time starts the week on day 1. So we can start -6 because it's in the week of 7, but it's only day 1. Therefore, 2021, which actually would be 2014, and 43 of Barack Obama, and hot and cold water, and 30 of the coming of Christ, and the 30 golden eggs, and the 50 stars of the golden calf of Moses, equals to a total of 123 times 47, 1, 2, 3 ABC of Michael Jackson. I'm going to show you that sooner, hopefully, or later. The 1, 2, 3 of Michael Jackson times 47 equals to the year 5781, which 5781 happens to do the heavens, electronic, I, birth, in the doghouse, H-I-N-Z, okay, and 1, 2, 3 ABC, and the passage is the 5, so we have Jack in the 5-fold as J-A-C-K, J1A1C3K2, ABC, Jack, O-Jack, because it totals O, and the O is in the 6th letter, but now we can bring it down to the 1st position, because the total is O, and it's the water of the man and the O of the bones that we possess into the side of this world. So we take these numbers and the totality of what I said, and we come into the year 5781, And next year, in the Hebrew New Year, just like I said in weeks, we can take off 6 days. It's 5775, the same numbers we read, and they're coming up in less than 365 days. And don't forget, 45 days after the beginning is the November of the 14th. It is the same as Valentine's Day, November 14th, November 15th, November 16th, just like Valentine's Day. Oh, I'll tell you about, you want to know about what, Halloween? You want to know about Valentine's Day? How about Valentine equals 102? And there's an expression for it. 10 and 2. God starts at 2, he finishes back on 10. That's why the 1 on the telephone supports nothing. Because he's holding it in his hands. Don't forget the spot you stand. Where is he? Well, obviously, if you're standing on the spot, it's right there, so you'll have to say nothing. You asked the wrong question. So we did that part with Hitler, and then there's this part with Hitler. Creating of, in order to create the Hitler sign like this, it goes from here, through here, down to here, and the numbers are 365 days, and guess what? 47F. 47 is a support of 28 and 11. 28 is E and I and N, 3 letters, because we use 2 to create 3. 7 times 4 is 28, is E-I-N, and then E-I-N again. But 28 plus 11 is 39, and the 20th and 19th letter, which is T and S, equals for 39, spells Einstein. And here is where it fits, right here. Now we're supposed to take this next one from here and go from 1 to 2 to 8 to 9. So we go 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. Is the crossover? I did not do that. Oh yes, I did do that. 1, 2, 5, 8, 9 is the crossover. 9 and 1 is 10. 8 and 2 is 10. In the 10-10 world of the 5 passage. The totality of this is 48, which is space, and 8 and 4 is 3, 9 and 7 is 7, and this part says Nibiru. So it says, Aleph Beit cometh of Nibiru. 9 to 8 is 72, plus 1 is 73, and that's the number of Nibiru. Ice on what? Maybe ice on the ship. 17 minutes have passed, and I'm not even halfway done, and I don't even like the explanation that I gave it. Show you something else. Here's the pin key. The wheels keep on spinning. Here's another swastika. The reason we have the swastika is because in order to go straight down from the top, because there are no lines in between, we must go corner to corner, therefore executing this design. Now either we can take each design in its own and call it 10. We can go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And guess what? If you add up 9 and 18 and 27 and 36, it equals 90. Pretty screwed up, eh? I didn't do any of this. I just throw out my fishing rod and try to catch a fish. And I ain't stopping because I know they're out there and I know they're going to bite. The thing is, when is it going to bite? I have to think a little harder. The harder I think, the more of a chance the fish will jump onto the line. So then we have this design over here, which is 2, 5, and 8. I don't really want to use that one. I wanted to use another sign from somewhere else. Here, I wanted to use this one, which is 2, 5, and 8, in which a center gets an X. Don't forget they only get half. Eventually they get filled up the more we go with the story. 2, 5, and 8, 4, 5, and 6. The only way to get through is like bingo. We get a free spot in the center. Now we bring it up over here. 6, 8, 1, 3, 5. Where is the 6, 8? I had additioned, I'm trying to figure out which one I additioned. 3 and 3 is 6. 6 and 2 is 8. 5 and 5 is 1. 4 and 8 is 3. And 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 8, 1, 3. 8 times 13 equals 104. This is CB code 10-4 or Casino War. Why is it Casino War? Because when you add up 1 to 14, again, 14, 1441. Look up Grover, Cleveland, and Sesame Street. Okay? 6 and 5 is the communication of the white wolf, E and F, first and last. Also, they say it stands for the Stewart of Terry. 6 and 5, or 1965, or one of the 11s. If we add the 11 to the 104, we end up with 115. And if you go from 8 to 15, which equals 16, equals to the 136, letter P, in the 613 laws of Moses, 6 1 and 3 points in football, 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days in which we're awake for 16 hours and asleep for 8 hours. When we come to the day of the Lord of creation, we lose that day, and the number goes up in a separate category, leaving us with 144, 72, and 24 in the exact order. I'm hoping this video works. Another thing we were talking about is, I don't have an answer for this, but area of A and E and A, in which A plus 6 and 1, E is 5. E is 5, A is 1. 7, 7, 7 it makes. That's what this is. And it creates D, H, H, D. I don't know what it is. H and I, 88, 48, 84. I do not have 48, 84. I don't remember where I was going, but I was talking about this over here. Add up 1 to 14. It equals to, add up 1 to 14, it equals to 105. Add up 1 to 15, it equals to 120. 1 plus 15 is 16, equals 136. Just one above. Do you know what these numbers are together? This is Venus. The egg is hatched. 13 is 104. 35 makes creation. But 135 says ace. A-C-E. 81 is Venus. 6 by 8 is space. 81 is Venus. 13 is AC of DC. 13 is here. Here's 1. Here's 3. See what happens to 3? Comes all the way back down here. 1 and 8. These are combined together. A and B go together. H and I go together. Except this letter 9 gets wiped out and man plays from inside of here. 9 and 8 and 1 and 2 is played inside here. And this is the part that Hitler has cut off. See the weight scale when you up the upper part and the lower part? Creates the clock, creates another number that's over here, 14,569. But I am pooped at 2:20 to 2:22 on the time. I am pooped. It's midnight. And I don't even feel I even gave you the right number. It's just that Hitler, if you put Hitler together, it's 20 and 17, which is black. Black 17, black 20, 37, which is T and Q. And on the other side of the creation of Hitler is S and P. It has nothing to do with the part of creation inside these numbers. Nothing, not at all. 0. Don't forget, nothing is in the middle. We have the Mayan February, then we have October. We don't have the middle. There's no June, July. It doesn't work that way because that'll be even 6 and 6, and it doesn't start even. In fact, I saw a calendar last week at the Bureau en Gros, which is one of the shops that sells calendars, and it showed that the year started in July and ended the next June. So somehow there is no in-between. What else is there? No, I'm going to save this for the next video. Thank you for watching. I know there wasn't a lot in here, but anyways, just to get it out of my head, there's so much.